Life is full of two things: sick purpose and pain. And every single day, you get to choose which one you focus on. See, most people spend their lives consumed by their pain. They wake up tired. They go to work frustrated. They complain about what they don't have, what's not working, who did them wrong. They let their pain define them. But here's the truth. Pain is temporary. Purpose is forever. Pain will come and go, but purpose, it will pull you forward if you let it. Now, I'm not saying life is easy. No. Life is tough. It's unpredictable. Some days, it feels like the whole world is against you. You try and you fail. You give and it's not enough. You push and life pushes back even harder. But let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. If you spend your life focusing on the pain, you'll never see the purpose. If you spend your life making excuses, you'll never make progress. The key, listen carefully, the key is learning to shift your focus. Because whatever you focus on expands. If you focus on the pain, it grows. It becomes all you see, all you feel. But if you focus on the purpose, the reason why you started, the vision of where you're going, then suddenly the pain, it becomes fuel. It becomes the thing that shapes you, strengthens you, prepares you. Because pain, my friends, is a teacher. It's a lesson wrapped in discomfort. It's life saying, are you serious about this? Do you really want it? Or are you going to quit the moment it gets hard? So today, I want to talk about how to shift your focus. How to train your mind to see the purpose, not the pain. How to take control of your thinking so that no matter what life throws at you, you don't break. You rise. Because the people who succeed in life, they're not the lucky ones. They're not the ones who had it easy. They're the ones who learned how to turn pain into power. And so can you. Let's get started. Let me ask you a question. When something goes wrong in your life, when you fail, when you struggle, when you feel stuck, what do you focus on? Most people focus on the pain. They complain. They ask, why is this happening to me? They dwell on what they lost, what didn't work, what went wrong. But let me tell you something I learned a long time ago. Pain is a teacher. And the people who succeed in life, they don't run from pain. They don't avoid it. They don't sit around feeling sorry for themselves. No, they look pain in the face and ask, what is this teaching me? Because, my friends, life is a classroom. Every challenge, every failure, every struggle, it's a lesson. And if you're paying attention, you'll find that every hardship is shaping you. It's preparing you for what's next. The biggest mistake people make. The biggest mistake people make is thinking pain is just suffering. But pain has a purpose. You go to the gym, and what happens? Your muscles burn. They ache. It's painful. But that's how they grow. You push yourself to learn a new skill, and what happens? It's frustrating. You feel lost. But that's how you get better. Life works the same way. Pain is necessary for growth. But most people never see that. They get knocked down, and they stay down. They tell themselves, I can't do this. It's too hard. And because they believe that, they stop trying. And that's the real tragedy. Because pain was never meant to break you. It was meant to build you. Why pain is necessary for growth? Let me tell you something about success. Every person who has ever achieved something great, every entrepreneur, every athlete, every leader has faced pain. But here's what makes them different. They used it as fuel. They didn't focus on the setback. They focused on what they could learn. Because life doesn't test you to destroy you. Life tests you to prepare you. Think about that. If you're struggling right now, if you're in pain, if life feels unfair, maybe, just maybe, life is preparing you for something bigger. Maybe this challenge is strengthening you. Maybe this setback is setting you up for something greater. But you won't see that if you only focus on the pain. So, let me give you a simple shift in thinking, one that can change everything for you. From this day forward, whenever you face a setback, whenever you feel pain, instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Ask, what is this teaching me? Because if you ask the wrong questions, you'll get the wrong answers. If you ask, why does this always happen to me? Your mind will come up with a list of reasons why you're unlucky. But if you ask, what can I learn from this? Your mind will search for the lesson. And the lesson, that's where the power is. Here's what I want you to do. Think about a painful experience in your life, a failure, a disappointment, something that hurt you. Now ask yourself, what did that experience teach me? How did it make me stronger? How can I use this lesson to move forward? Because pain without purpose is suffering, but pain with purpose, that's transformation. And that's how you grow. So don't focus on the pain. Focus on the lesson. And if you do that, my friends, you'll never be the same again. Let's move forward. There's a question I want you to think about right now. What is your purpose? I'm not asking about your job or your day-to-day responsibilities. I'm asking about that deeper driving force. The thing that gets you up in the morning when the world is heavy, when the odds are against you, when life feels like a battle. Purpose is what keeps you going. It's the force that keeps you moving forward, even when it seems like everything else is pulling you backward. Without purpose, you're lost. With purpose, you are unstoppable. Now, let me tell you something I've observed over the years. Most people lose their motivation because they forget their why. They forget the reason they started. They get distracted by the day-to-day struggles. They get caught up in the small frustrations of life, and before long, they lose sight of why they're doing what they're doing. But when you lose your why, you lose your drive. You lose the fire that pushes you to get up every day and keep moving forward, no matter what. And that's when you begin to question everything. Is this worth it? Why am I doing this? Here's the problem. If you don't have a clear reason for what you're doing, you'll give up the moment things get tough. It's easy to keep going when everything is smooth. But when the road gets rough, and it will get rough, that's when you need your purpose most. If your purpose isn't clear, if your why isn't strong, the obstacles will seem impossible. You'll see every challenge as a reason to quit, not as an opportunity to grow. So let me ask you, are you clear about the purpose? If you're not, this is the moment to get serious about finding it. Because without purpose, you're just going through the motions. You're surviving, not thriving. Now, I want to give you the tools to connect deeply with your purpose. How do you stay connected to your purpose, especially when things are tough? How do you keep your why in front of you, even when it feels like the world is pulling you in 1,000 directions? There are 3 ways to do this: visualization, self-reflection, and goal setting. Visualization is about creating a mental image of the life you want. It's about seeing your future clearly. Imagine what your life looks like once you've reached your goals. Picture the success, the peace, the freedom, the fulfillment. When you can see it, when it's clear in your mind, it becomes real to you. And when something is real to you, you fight for it. You make it happen. Think about it. When you visualize your success, you're not just imagining it, you're programming your mind to take the actions needed to achieve it. The more vividly you see it, the more driven you'll be to make it your reality. But visualization alone is not enough. You need self-reflection, the ability to step back and ask yourself the hard questions. Why am I doing this? Why does this matter to me? What do I want to accomplish with my life? Self-reflection forces you to reconnect with the core of who you are. It helps you remember the reasons you started this journey in the first place. And it strengthens your resolve to keep moving forward, even when things get tough. Here's the true thing: we all get distracted. We all get off course sometimes. But if you take the time to reflect on your purpose, on your true why, you'll be able to realign yourself with your goals. And then there's goal setting. Your goals are the roadmaps to your purpose. They give you a clear direction, a path to follow. Without goals, purpose is just a feeling. But with goals, purpose becomes a strategy. It becomes action. Set small, measurable goals. Make them specific. And then take daily actions that bring you closer to those goals. Here's the key: celebrate every small victory along the way. Each time you accomplish a goal, no matter how small, take a moment to acknowledge your progress. Those small wins will give you momentum and keep you moving forward. Now, here's the most important part of this whole process. I want you to write down your why. Write down your purpose. Write down the reasons you do what you do. Write down the vision you have for your future. When you have a clear why, you have a guiding light. It's like turning on a flashlight in a dark room. Without that light, you stumble around, unsure of where you're going. But when your why is clear, you can see the path ahead, even in the darkest times. But writing it down is just the first step. You need to revisit it every single day. Every morning, before your feet even touch the floor, read your why. Look at it, absorb it. Let it fuel you for the day ahead. When you're feeling tired, when you want to quit, when the world feels heavy, go back to your why. It's your anchor. Every successful person I know has a reason for what they're doing. They've connected deeply with their purpose. And that connection is the fuel that drives them forward. So I challenge you, make your purpose your foundation. Make it your fuel. And every day when you wake up, remind yourself why you're doing this. When you're in the middle of a challenge, remember your why. When you focus on your purpose, you'll find the strength to overcome anything. Let's keep moving forward. Let me ask you something. Have you ever woken up in the morning and felt like you just couldn't do it? Maybe you were tired, or maybe you felt overwhelmed, or maybe you just didn't feel like putting in the work. It happens to all of us. We've all had those days when we'd rather stay in bed than face the challenges ahead. But here's the thing about emotions. They're unreliable. One day you might feel motivated, energetic, ready to conquer the world. The next day, you might feel tired, discouraged, or just plain uninspired. Emotions come and go like waves in the ocean. But discipline, real discipline, that's different. Discipline is what keeps you going when your emotions tell you to quit. It's the force that moves you forward, even when you don't feel like moving at all. Now, let's talk about why emotions are so unreliable. Emotions are powerful. They can motivate us, inspire us, and even push us toward greatness. But they can also lead us astray. One of the biggest mistakes people make is thinking that success depends on how they feel. They wait for the perfect moment to start, the right mood to kick in. But let me tell you, there is no perfect moment. Waiting for the right feeling is like waiting for the stars to align. It's never going to happen. Emotions will always fluctuate. Some days you'll feel on top of the world, and other days you'll feel like giving up. And if you're relying on those emotions to fuel your actions, you'll never be consistent. But discipline doesn't care about how you feel. Discipline doesn't need perfect conditions. Discipline is what gets you out of bed when you don't feel like it. It's what makes you show up day after day, regardless of your mood. Here's the secret to success: consistency. The most successful people I know didn't get where they are by relying on their emotions. They didn't get up every day because they felt like it. They got up because they had a vision, they had a purpose, they had discipline. No matter what setbacks came their way, they showed up. They did the work, even when they didn't feel like it. And that's why they succeeded. You don't become successful by doing what feels good. You become successful by doing what needs to be done, whether you feel like it or not. Now, I'm not saying you should push yourself to the point of exhaustion. I'm saying that you have to be willing to do the work, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even you'd rather take the easy way out. Because the road to success isn't easy. It's messy. It's full of obstacles. But if you want to achieve anything of real value, you have to keep going, no matter how you feel. The key to all of this is mental toughness. Mental toughness isn't something you're born with. It's something you develop through practice, through pushing yourself to do the hard things, even when you don't feel like it. When you build mental toughness, you stop letting your feelings control your actions. You start taking control. You start choosing discipline over emotion. Here's the truth: you can't always control your emotions, but you can control your actions. So, when you're faced with a decision, when you're tired, when you're discouraged, when you just don't feel like it, ask yourself, what do I need to do to move forward? And then do it. When you can learn to do what needs to be done, no matter how you feel, that's when you'll begin to unlock your true potential. Now, here's the practical step for today: create non-negotiable daily habits that are tied to your purpose. What are the things you must do every single day to stay on track with your goals? Maybe it's working out for 30 minutes. Maybe it's reading a book for 20 minutes. Maybe it's writing down your goals. Whatever it is, make it non-negotiable. The key here is consistency. You're not doing it because you feel like it. You're doing it because it's part of your purpose. It's part of your daily commitment to yourself. These habits don't depend on your emotions. They don't depend on whether you feel motivated or not. They are non-negotiable, and they must be done every day. Start with one habit. Do it every day without fail. And then, once that's ingrained in your routine, add another. Over time, these small habits will add up, and you'll start to see big results. Let me leave you with this: discipline is freedom. It's the freedom to achieve your goals, to live your purpose, to live the life you've always dreamed of. But it only comes when you choose to prioritize discipline over emotion, when you make it a habit. So, don't wait for the perfect day, wait for the perfect mood. Do the work. Stay disciplined, because when you do, nothing can stop you. Let's keep moving forward. Let's talk about one of the most powerful traits you can develop on your journey to success: persistence. Persistence isn't just about working hard. It's about sticking with it, even when the road gets tough. It's about continuing to move forward when everything inside you says, give up. So many people quit too soon. They give up right when they're on the verge of breakthrough, right when they're closer than they think. Why does this happen? It's simple. People stop pushing forward when they can't see the finish line. They get discouraged by the setbacks, frustrated by the slow progress, and start to wonder if it's all worth it. But the truth is, success doesn't happen overnight. It's a process. And sometimes you're closer to your goal than you think. If only you would persist just a little longer. Let me tell you something I've learned over the years. The road to success is not linear. It's full of twists, turns, and moments when it feels like you're not making any progress at all. But just because you can't see immediate results doesn't mean that your efforts aren't adding up. The most common mistake people make is that they stop too soon. They think they failed just because they haven't achieved their goals yet. Let me share a secret with you: success is not about immediate results. It's about staying in the game long enough to get results. I've seen countless people give up right before their breakthrough. They stop doing the work, they lose faith, they lose momentum, only to find out later that they were just a step away from the success they were working for. If you quit too soon, you'll never see what's waiting for you on the other side. There's always resistance. It's part of the process. When you're pushing towards something meaningful, you're going to encounter challenges. You'll face setbacks, moments of doubt, and times when it seems easier to just give up. But let me tell you, this resistance is a sign that you're on the right track. When you feel the most resistance, it usually means you're pushing against something that's trying to hold you back. Whether it's your own self-doubt, external obstacles, or fear, resistance is always a signal to keep going. I want you to think about resistance as a test. It's not there to stop you. It's there to show you how badly you want it. The people who succeed aren't the ones who have it easy. They're the ones who push through when it's hard. They keep going even when they're tired, discouraged, or unsure. Persistence isn't about being perfect. It's about continuing to move forward even when it feels like you're stuck. Success is built one small step at a time. We often think that success is some grand event, something that happens all at once. But the reality is that it's the little things you do every day that compound and create massive results over time. Each action you take, no matter how small, is like laying a brick in the foundation of your success. Picture it like this. Imagine you're building a wall, one brick at a time. At first, the wall seems small. It doesn't look like much. But as you keep adding bricks, you start to see something take shape. And eventually, you'll have built something that's strong, lasting, and impressive. The compounding effect of small actions is incredibly powerful. It's easy to overlook the little things, but when you stay consistent, those small efforts accumulate. They build momentum. Practical step: break big goals into tiny, winnable steps. Here's the practical steppy. If you have a big goal, something that feels overwhelming, break it down into smaller, winnable steps. When you look at a goal in its entirety, it can feel intimidating. But when you break it down into smaller pieces, you can start winning every day. Instead of thinking, I want to lose 30 pounds, or I want to build a successful business, think about what you can do today to move closer to that goal. For example, instead of focusing on losing 30 pounds, think about walking 30 minutes a day or eating one healthy meal a day. Instead of focusing on building a successful business, think about setting up your website or writing one blog post every week. These are small, manageable steps. And when you focus on completing these smaller steps, you start to build momentum. The key is consistency. The key is persistence. So, when things get tough, when the road gets rocky, remember this: success is built one brick at a time. Just keep going. Even when it feels like nothing is happening, even when it feels hard, keep going. Because the more you persist, the closer you get to the life you've been dreaming of. And that is worth every step. Let's keep moving forward. Let's take a moment to step back and look at the bigger picture. You've worked hard. You've faced setbacks. You've endured the tough days. But why do you keep going? Because deep down, you know something: the rewards of staying focused on your purpose are worth far more than the temporary pain you go through. Most people don't see it that way. They think in the short term. They chase instant gratification. They quit when things get uncomfortable. But success isn't about comfort. It's about commitment. It's about playing the long game. And that's what separates those who succeed from those who don't. One of the greatest lessons I ever learned was this: short-term discomfort is always better than long-term regret. Think about that for a moment. Most people avoid pain today only to suffer more pain later. They take the easy way out, only to find themselves stuck in the same place year after year. Let me give you an example. The person who refuses to exercise because it's hard will eventually struggle with health issues. The person who doesn't invest time in learning and growing will eventually fall behind. The person who avoids difficult conversations will eventually have broken relationships. But here's the good news: if you're willing to endure a little discomfort today, you can build a future you're proud of. Patience is key. Nothing great happens overnight. Success takes time. Growth takes time. Mastery takes time. But the people who win in life are those who stay the course. Those who resist the urge to quit when progress feels slow. They keep showing up. They keep doing the work. And eventually, they reap the rewards. How purpose leads to true fulfillment, not just success. Let me tell you something important: key. Success and fulfillment are not the same thing. There are plenty of people who are successful but not fulfilled. They have the money, the status, the achievements, but they still feel empty inside. Why? Because success without purpose is meaningless. The real reward isn't just reaching the goal. It's knowing that you stayed true to something bigger than yourself. You see, purpose isn't about what you get. It's about who you become. And when you live with purpose, when you stay focused on what truly matters, you experience something that no amount of money can buy: fulfillment. That's why you must never let temporary struggles distract you from your bigger mission. Because in the end, Your purpose will bring you a level of satisfaction that no shortcut ever could. This is one of the most important truths you'll ever learn. No pain lasts forever. No matter what you're going through, no matter how tough things feel right now, it will pass. Think back to a difficult time in your life. Maybe it was a failure, a heartbreak, a setback that felt impossible to recover from. At the time, it felt overwhelming. It felt like it would never end. But it did. And you're still here. You're stronger now because of it. Every struggle you faced has made you into the person you are today. And every struggle you're going through now is shaping you into the person you're meant to become. You see, pain is temporary, but purpose is permanent. When you focus on your purpose, when you keep moving forward despite the difficulties, you're building something that will last a lifetime. That's the real reward. Now, here's a simple but powerful habit you can start today. Keep a purpose journal. Every day, take a few minutes to write down 1. Your struggles, what challenges did you face today? 2. Your lessons, what did you learn from those struggles? 3. Your wins, what small victories did you achieve? This habit does 2 things, yo. First, it helps you see your progress. When you look back after a few weeks, you'll realize just how far you've come. Second, it reminds you that even in the toughest moments, you're still growing. Because the truth is, success isn't just about reaching the destination. It's about appreciating the journey. So stay focused, stay patient, stay committed to your purpose. Because in the end, the rewards will always be worth it.